Killing the volume. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is well. Hold on a second. Let me start with. There we go. Gotta love that. All right. So before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask that you be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue will boot you out of here with the wrenches. So, your choice, that's fine. So, anyway, too funny. Alrighty. Just so what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about the nuclear power plant in Ukraine, and we're going to go from there. And so it's going to there's a correlation to all this too. We're going to be talking about in this as well. So, but and I bought 2 more blackberry bushes. Oh, that's cool, Sharon. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So many interesting things going on, obviously. I actually, today when I got back home, I was out for a bit. Did finish cutting the grass today, so the grass is now all done. Other than that one spot where the four-wheeler, I have to move the four-wheeler at that spot. That will happen. Just not sure exactly. It will happen soon, though. So anyway, oh my goodness gracious. I'm like just trying to decompress for a moment. Just running around, got washed up real quick, took a nice shower, and I'm like, okay, all right, I got a few minutes. So anyway, all right, we have this nuclear power plant. Everybody probably have heard it on the news in Ukraine that with the dam being blown, it's definitely at threat. And so, what happens if that nuclear power plant melts down? And I want you to talk. I want you to listen to something. I thought that before we get into that, I want to mention this really quickly. So they were talking about here in the United States about. It was a busy day, Angela. They were talking here in the United States about, we're going to put in more nuclear power. It's so efficient, it's so clean, and it's so safe, and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's all safe and great and everything until something goes wrong. Right? I mean, you look at Chernobyl over in Russia, nobody can be living there and probably won't for a long, long time. An entire city had to leave, abandon that city. And, you have people that patrol it military wise because, of course, idiots go in there. I've actually seen some videos of these young guys that, they sneak in and and do their thing through there. And to me, why would you want to take that chance, with the nuclear radiation all over the times? But it would be 6 times worse in Chernobyl. So here's the other part. And yes, they're saying that this one would be much, much worse than Chernobyl. But the problem is, too, of the location of where it's at. You're going to be one of the big exporters out of Ukraine is wheat. Okay. So if you have this nuclear power plant melts down, it's going to not only just destroy things locally, but it's going to really have an impact on the environment as well. And, that's going to definitely affect what they're able to grow in a large radius, a large area in that region. And, but like I said, again, like they were talking about how wonderful and safe it is here. And, we've had our own issues with nuclear power plants here. And to me, there's so many other better options than going, with the nuclear power plants. Yes, and I was going to mention that too. Joe just said Japan releasing water into the sea. So, and here's a question that I have with this whole thing. Now, Fukushima. So we're gonna bounce between these, but I did want to talk about Fukushima as well. 12 years ago is when it happened, right? So they've been running water in, and then they've been saying they've been treating water, and what the one thing that's left in it, um, they're saying that, oh, it's at safe levels, and so they're going to start dumping it back into the ocean. Okay, and a lot of people are concerned. Other countries are concerned because they said, well, we've had 1.3 trillion metric tons of contaminated water, and we're not going to build any more of these things to store them in. So my question is this, okay? And I don't care how much money it costs. That's not my problem. That is their problem. They didn't create the problem, but because of where they built, knowing that there's an opportunity to have earthquakes, because it's Japan where they have earthquakes all the time. They didn't prepare it well enough, and they had the issue. Why isn't that taken care of 12 years later? They're saying, well, we got to start releasing this water into the ocean so that we can focus on trying to, deactivate. 3 Mile Island was another one where they had all kinds of problems. It is amazing to me that they keep feeding us the same song and dance over and over and over again and don't do anything about it, and then expect us to be okay, like especially with Fukushima, with dumping that water back into the ocean. I'm sorry, but if it has any contaminants in it at all, you shouldn't be dumping it into the ocean. And there it's just the whole thing is insane. You know what I mean? Yeah, wondering why my sardines tasted funny. Yeah, it's craziness. It's absolute insanity. They're playing with fire right now in Ukraine with that situation there, and we have there's a nuclear power plant up in New York, uh, right up on Lake Ontario, and I'm trying to remember the name of the plant. It was over the town that it's near. It's like they have in Webster, New York. They actually have the sirens. Um, if the sirens go off, you need to get out of Dodge. Right. That's basically what that was. And God, is that Gannett? Gannett Nuclear Power Plant, I believe, is the one right up on Lake Ontario. But again, you know, it just they keep saying again, like I said, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. But when is it not safe? And when you have what's it, the uranium has a half life of 1,000 or 2,000 years. The spent things, and what they do is they've taken them out like into the desert, I believe in Arizona, and they dump a lot of them out there. They bury them somewhere out in the desert, and it's supposed to be, oh yeah, it's fine, it's great, and stuff like that. I don't know. The whole thing to me when you're talking nuclear power is just not a good thing. 9 Mile Point nuclear plant. Yeah, yeah. Love Canal is another one somebody just threw up there as well. You look at all the issues with the different chemicals and all those type of things as well. It's just this vicious cycle that something could be done about it. The administration will pass a policy that won't allow the reactor to melt down. Yeah, right. It'll add to global warming. I'm going to tell you what. I've had the whole global warming thing up to here, and it's just that's in Oswego, 9 Mile, 80 km. Okay, I thought isn't it it's called Gannett Nuclear Power Plant though, isn't it? 80K man, if I'm not mistaken. It could be, uh, but yeah, I know where well there's no, I'm not. I don't think it's the one I'm talking about. Is in Oswego. It wouldn't. There's got to be more than one. Yes, I saw that, Don Hill. She said, "Oh my God, our governor in the House in Michigan passed a bill making using wrong pronouns a $10,000 felony." I'm sick of the state. And I saw that too, and I'm like, really? I mean, it's that again. They're gonna see, and this is what kills me with that, Don Hill. Okay, so your governor, they in the House in Michigan passed that if you use the wrong pronouns, it's a $10,000 fine and a felony. Yeah, a felony. But yet, loot and burn and rob and steal and all that, and that's just absolutely ducky, and that's fine. Go out to California, you can steal up to $1,000 worth of stuff each time and not be prosecuted for it. But heaven forbid, if you, and the thing is, it's like, how do you know? Unless I know what the person wants to be called, um, you know, how do you know what they are? I mean, you're going to assume, you're going to look at somebody and be like, okay, I guessing, you know, the Supreme Court will knock that down in 10 seconds. Let's hope so, because that's ridiculous. Yeah, that law is just an excuse to take everyone's guns. Well, yeah, because if they can get you for a felony, then they can they can take them away from you, and you're not allowed to have them. Like I said, the whole world has gone absolutely insane with a lot of different things that are happening. But you know, nuclear power. Never been a fan of nuclear power. Way too many problems with nuclear power. Like I said, the uranium, I believe it might be 2,000 years for the half life of uranium. So, I mean, there's no reason, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, that you should have that. Um, it was funny. I just saw a thing, and obviously, you guys know I like solar, right? I like solar. I'm not against wind. Too many moving parts in wind turbines can have more issues and breakdown and stuff like that. That is absolutely a reality of wind. Okay, but it's another thing you can use. Hydro can be used. There's a lot of different things that can be used as a power source without having to go to. I've heard you can be court-martialed in the military for using the wrong pronoun. I hadn't heard that one yet, but that doesn't surprise me. Um, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. All these places, I'll tell you what, it's with the different ridiculous classes that they make you take, diversity training, and and all this other type of stuff. It's absolutely nuts, nuts the way they have things now. I will tell you this right now: if my kids were little kids and they were school age, they would not be going to public school. I will tell you that right now. I don't care what I would have had to have done, but they would not be going to a public school. They are indoctrination centers, realistically. To you got what you have to understand, and I'm going to give you an example of something, especially with little kids. Okay, little kids want to be helpful. They want to be involved. So if your child is coming up to you and said, "Can I help with this?" or "Can I help with that?" and you continuously blow them off and be like, "No, no, 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 I got it. You can't do this," or you don't want to take the time to teach them or show them and stuff like that. What ends up happening is they stop coming to you at some point, and they're like, "Well, they don't want me to help them anyway, right?" And so they just stop asking. If you engage with your kids and get them involved and make that, when things are routine, it's it just becomes part of what we do. I know I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell this story one more time, real quick, right? I tried being employed in New York now. Sexual harassment training is nonstop. Yeah, that is. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, I just don't. Like I said, I don't have the patience for any of that nonsense anymore. And you got to understand, 80K man, the sexual harassment only goes one way. It only goes one way, right? I'll tell you two quick stories, but I want to tell the first one first. So with oh god, what was I going to say on that first one? Hold on a second, I got to remember. I know I told the story before. Oh my god, what was I talking about again, guys? And I something had popped into my head. God darn it! I can't remember what I was going to say now. I hate that when that happens. I absolutely had something that I was going to say. Oh, but little kids helping. Yeah, but there was something I was going to. Okay, I'm trying to remember what I was. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh, man, I hate that. It was right there. And now the second one that I was going to say. Let me go back up here and read that comment again. Oh, I know what I was going to say. For this, I'll tell the second story first. So, I was working at this nursing home, and I won't say which one. Yeah, I'll remember later on exactly. So I was working at this nursing home, and I won't say which one. And one of the girls that worked there liked me. Okay, um, she was probably 250 pounds. Looked like a butch lesbian, and I'm not trying to be mean, and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but she was a big beefy girl with the tattoos and the short haircut. Well, she liked me. Um, and she had grabbed my ass, if you will, a few times. Okay, and I let it go because there is no. If I had reported it, they would have turned it around. I'm telling you right now, that's how this system works. Okay, had I reported it, it would have. She said, "Bald is beautiful." Yeah, okay. Um, you know, I would have been the one getting in trouble. Okay, and but the thing is, that's what you deal with as a man, especially in the nursing field. You're going to get hit on by people that you're really not interested in. And here's the thing is, and I know there's a lot of guys out there like the big girls. They like them, and that's great. They can have them. I am not attracted to big girls. I never have been. It's just not my thing. To each their own. I like tiny and petite. That's what I like. Both of my wives were petite and tiny. So, no slam against anybody, but for whatever reason, I always tell people, it's like big girls love me. I don't know. I think it's probably because I'm nice to everybody. I try to be nice to everybody, as far as that goes. But yeah, if I had said something, I would have ended up being the one getting in trouble, not her. So I just let it go. You know what I mean? I blew her off in the nicest way possible. But yeah, it's just the system is absolutely rigged again. And I've said this before, the system is definitely rigged against men, especially if you're a white man, because you're automatically you look at what they talk about now half the time. It's all white people, all white men's fault. Even these stupid white women that get on there and blame everything. Let's see, one that comes to mind. Oh yeah, Jane Fonda. God, I can't stand that woman. She is such a piece of crap that it is unbelievable. I don't know if you guys saw her latest rant, how she got on there, and all the old white men should be fired because they're the problem and all this other crap. It is so ridiculous. Yeah, let's blame all of them. It's all their fault. Yeah, Hanoi Jane is right, but yeah, I just women in the nursing field also get hit on and grabbed inappropriately on a regular basis more often by patients. So that's true as well. Yes, absolutely. I can prep too. Yeah, they're getting inappropriate things said by patients. You know, did she stop it? She did eventually. Oh, actually, I got out of that job, but it's but it's just you have my thing is this, like I've been hit on, you know, people that are I don't know, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this. I've been hit on a lot by men also in my life, okay? And I always took it as a compliment. That's the way I took it. I would say, listen, no, not my thing. Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer. And I will tell you this: 9 out of 10 homosexual men that when they hit on you, if you say you are not interested, they're going to just go, okay, no problem, and they're going to go on to the next guy. All right, that's what they do. I mean, that's just what they do. Like I said, again, I always took it as a compliment, but I said to somebody one time, I go, what is it with really heavy women and gay dudes? They love me. I don't know why. So, but and it's okay. I mean, I don't care, but it's because you look like a bear, yeah, big and cuddly. Um, what kind of chat did this fall into? Hey Joe, you know what? There is an off button. If you don't care for it, you can always go ahead and you know go back to Beagle Acres. uh, but yeah, it's just like I said again. I my ex wife always had short hair, so she was misconstrued a lot by lesbians as being lesbian. And so she had the best saying in the world, and I used to love what she when she would say that. She said, "It's always nice to be invited to the party. It doesn't mean you have to go." And I just thought that was, that was a cool saying. You know what I mean? But like I said again, it's just I don't know what it is. I do not know what it is. I could tell you guys some stories, which some of the stories I really shouldn't say on YouTube. But yeah, oh my God, some of the stuff that I've seen and dealt with, and crazy, crazy. But I have a lesbian neighbor, and it sickens me so much when she hunker, hunkered me with her eyes. Apparently, she can't keep a steady partner. Oh, and Carolyn, it's I don't know. It makes people uncomfortable. Some people get uncomfortable. Like I said, for me, I just blow it off. I either tell them you're not interested, and they're really good about it. I had one guy that was not taking no for an answer, and so I said to him, and his guy's name was Bob. Okay, and I said, Bob, listen, I like you as a friend. I like you as a friend. You're a decent guy. I go, but if you ever put your hand on me, I said you were going to pull back a stump. Okay, and what he said, and I'll never forget this. Because I just laughed. He goes, "Ooh," he goes, "Butch, I like that." He just so you couldn't win. You know what I mean? You just couldn't win. That's a story that I can tell. But yeah, it's just keep talking like this, and I'll need more therapy. Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, like I said, to me, it's about respect. It's just like, I've hit on plenty of women that said, no, I'm not interested. And I went, okay, hey, have a nice day. Because here's the thing, if you don't try, nothing ever happens. So that's why it never bothered me. Because I've had some people, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe, I got hit. I'm like, so what? But who cares? You said no, right? And they, well, of course I said no. Well, then what are you worried about? What do you care? You think it's going to rub off, or it's going to be contagious and you're going to catch it? It's like it doesn't work like that. Uh, People are so funny though. I have to laugh because people get so bent up and so caught up. It's like this whole, and I'm just going to touch on this just for a second. It's like the whole transgender thing. If it's not affecting you directly, what do you care? What do you care? Did somebody trick you? If they weren't honest, they should be honest with you up front, right? If you're going to be, you think you're dating a woman, and you've, if she or what, doesn't tell you that she's transgendered, that's an issue. That's an issue. People need to be honest, because some people are not down for that. You know what I mean? So, um, but I don't know. Like I said, we went from Chernobyl to the Love Boat. Yeah, right. But anyway, so let's push that topic aside and go on to something else. So we got 360 in the chat, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel. We're at 144 thumbs up. So thank you ahead of time for doing so. I do appreciate that. Also, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms as well. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. So, yeah. One statement I'm going to make before we move on here, okay? For years and years and years and years, truly transgendered people right? Men and women that identify as the other have been using the restrooms of the sex that they identify as. You did not know because you could not tell. Okay. Now, obviously, when somebody is a hairy dude like me, if I was in a dress and had makeup on and a awful looking wig and tried to go into the ladies' room, you might clock me, right? You might be able to say, when I say clock, I mean be able to tell, hey, wait a minute, something ain't right here. All right. But the majority of the ones that are truly transgender and want to identify, they're not looking to draw attention to themselves. They're going to the bathroom to go to the toilet just like the rest of us. And they're not looking to touch your little kids or convert your little kids into anything else. So relax a little bit. Okay. That's just my rant on that. So, yeah, at the bearded lady. I would not make a good woman. Like I've told people, listen, I am a silverback gorilla. That's what I am. All right. Electrolysis alone, if I decided to become transgender, which I don't think is going to happen at 58, but there's always a chance. Electrolysis alone would cost me a freaking fortune. From here straight down to my belly button, the whole area is all fur, fastly going from black to white. So, and that we're not even talking about the hair on my back. Like, yeah, no, not a good look, not a good look. So, but like I said, I just wish people would, yeah, just take a bath in there. No, you have to get the electrolysis so it doesn't grow back, Larry. So, yeah, no, I identify as a silverback gorilla. That's yeah. All right, let's get back. Actually, let's get back on topic. Why don't we do that instead of where we're at here? It does go off the rails. Okay, so Brazilian wax. I got to tell you, quick story, real quick, and really, this is actually very very funny. So I got a hairy back as well. Okay, so one time I had agreed. My ex-wife, she says, "Hey, I'll wax your back." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do that." She waxed half of my back, right? Whatever side it was, left side or right side. And I'm like, I went like this. I go, done. I'm done. And she's like, well, what about the other side? I said, I don't care. I said, I'll just keep my shirt on until the hair grows back. I said, that was the worst pain. So all of you ladies who wax, especially when you wax your nether regions, I take my hat off to you because very, very painful. Yes, yep. Um, no, thank you. No, thank you. I mean, it was like that was not fun. Yeah, oh my God, the 40-year-old virgin. I don't know if you guys know that from the movie. He did that with no test run, so it was like I mean, the swearing was part of the goof, but them waxing his chest like that was the real deal. They were actually waxing him. So, no, thank you. So that was a very funny scene, though. But anyhow, so excuse me. God, I wish I could remember what the other story I was going to tell you guys. I know I told you before. I remember saying that. I know I've said this story before, but that one is just still not there. You know what I mean? So, it was something about kids. Oh, yes, thank you. It came back. Thank you very much. I got it now. All right, now I know I told this story before. Thank you. That clicked it. That clicked it. My kids were little. Kids are because I was talking about kids in general and how like they like a chore and stuff like that. Kids also want routine. Routine means it just and literally when you said that I went bleep, the light went back on. Kids like stability. They like boundaries. They feel safe with boundaries. Okay. For all of you that want to be your kid's friend, you can't be their friend. You have to be their parent. When they become an adult, your dynamics with your children can change then. Okay. But when they're your children, they're always going to be your children. But when they're young, You need to be the adult. You need to have boundaries. You need to set rules and stick by your rules. That's my opinion. All you tree hugging lunatics out there, let your kids run wild at 3 o'clock in the morning and run the house. Good luck to you, because you're going to end up raising little a-holes, is what they'll turn into as adults. But anyway, again, my opinion. So my kids were little. And the twins had a bedtime of 7 o'clock because they were 4 or 5 years old. So their bedtime was 7 o'clock. All right. And so every night at 7, they'd be like, okay, it's 7 o'clock. Let's shut it down. They would shut down. We go up, we brush teeth, tuck everybody into bed, give kisses good night. And that was the routine. That's what they were used to. They didn't know anything else. Okay. So this particular night, we had some company over. And so the 4 of us adults are sitting around talking. And the next thing you know, the kids, without being told, shutting their stuff down. And the people were like, what are they doing? And I looked and I went, oh, it's 7 o'clock. It's bedtime. And they're like, they were like, they just go on their own. I'm like, this is what they do. This is what they're used to. This is, this is the routine. I said, so if you give us a couple minutes, we need to go up. We're going to get them, their teeth brushed and get them tucked into bed, and we'll be back down. And they were like, okay. So we went and did that and came back down. And we never were, here's the other thing we never did. Okay, everybody has to be quiet because the kids are sleeping. No. We normal conversations continue to talk because, again, that's part of our routine. We didn't coddle and baby our children like that, okay? And they were blown out of the water that those kids were so well behaved and so disciplined that they, on their own, started going into the routine of their bedtime routine. I've seen way too many kids. Oh, well, my kid won't go to bed. Yeah, they will. If you set boundaries, see, here's the biggest thing. Setting consequences for their actions. And then here's the even bigger thing. You as the adult following through on your threats, right? So if you say to your kid, if you don't do this, you're not going to be able to go to the mall tomorrow. I'm just throwing an example out, right? And so then tomorrow comes and they go, can I go to the mall? And you go, well, I know I told you no, but yeah, go ahead. So guess what happens when you do that? Your threats mean nothing, and they know it. They know it. But when you follow through with the consequences for their actions, what happens is they know that if they step out of line and don't do as they're told, or what their boundaries are, then they're going to be punished, and they know that. So guess what? They don't try to do that. There's always going to be tests. Trust me on that. There's always going to be tests, but you have to follow through. I'll give you a good example of that as well. And I know I've mentioned this one before as well. So when I first started dating Amy, Josh was 5 years old. Okay. And so she had Josh half the time and his father had him the other half of the time. So when Amy had Josh, we stayed at her place because he had his own bedroom and all that. When she didn't have Josh, she stayed at my place. And so then until she moved in, and then obviously then they were both there. But so when we were, first started dating, this particular night, Josh was used to sleeping with his mother. Okay. It was their routine. It's what they did. And I said, listen, no, not going to happen. Not having a kid sleeping with me. No, not going to ever happen. And just so you guys know, when my twins were born, from the day they came home from the hospital and we put them in their room, they were in their room, in their beds. They never slept with us. Now, if they had a bad dream or whatever the case may be, we would go in, we would comfort, tell them they're okay, you're safe, we're right here, blah, blah, blah. But they never slept with us. I don't think that that's a very healthy thing to do with your children. And that's just, again, my take on it. You guys can do whatever you want. But so anyway, so I'm like, no. And so this particular night, he kept pushing and he kept coming back and he kept coming back. And I said to her, you need to tell him that if he gets out of bed one more time, no more battle bots, for the next the next week, which was Tuesday was BattleBot night. So Josh would be over there on a Tuesday, right? And so, she told him, if you get out of bed one more time, you're not going to be able to watch BattleBots, next Tuesday. Well, he got out of bed again. So she said, okay, just so you know, there's not going to be any BattleBots, right? So the next Tuesday comes, I show up, and Josh says to me, now he's 5, he's a smart little boy, very, very smart, always a smart kid. He said, Ed, he goes, Mom has something she wants to tell you. And I looked at Mom, which is my ex-wife, Amy. At the time, we were just dating. And I said to her, didn't even acknowledge what it was. I said, if it is what I think it is, and you are going back on what you said, I go, your word means nothing. And I said, and I'm done. Because if you won't follow through with your punishments, I'm out of here. I'm not gonna be part of it. And she turned and looked at Josh, and she said, no BattleBots tonight. And that was it. And I sat her down later, and we talked, and I said, I'm not trying to be an a-hole. I said, but if you make that threat, you have to follow through. And she said, no, I agree with you. You are 100% correct, because that's where you get that respect and and stuff like that. And that's, like I said, that's just for me being a wild child, and I did what I wanted to do, and nobody told me no, because they couldn't control me, because I was, like I said, I was a freaking wild child. But looking back, what I really wanted, realistically, is I wanted somebody to say, no, that's it, and here's the boundaries, and that's it. But they didn't. So I did what I wanted to do, and I was not a good boy. Okay, so I knew when I became a father, you ain't pulling any crap on me. Because structure, exactly, Robert, exactly. So when I became a father, I said, you ain't pulling no crap on me, because I did it all. I did it all. So there's no way you're going to do it to me. So stability and structure, that's what kids want. They really want that. Had a wild child say it ain't true. Well, I always had this, and there's no filter on this. So I will tell you what happened at my last place that I worked at in a nursing home. Okay. So I'm interviewing for the job. And so, they do the standard different questions, and they were like, what are your strengths? And I said, I'm organized to the point of being anal retentive. I said, but being a nurse, you have to be squared away, because unforeseen things pop up, right? And they said, okay, well, what would you say your weakness is? And I went like this, and I pointed at my mouth, and they all start laughing. And I went, I'm not kidding. I said, I say it like it is. I said, and if you don't like it, I don't really care. And they kind of laughed it off and hired me anyway. Well, they found out I wasn't kidding. I just, honest to a fault, I say it like it is. If I see something that I think is BS and I don't agree with, I'm going to say something. They may not change their policy, but at least I'm about to catch up to your beard. Dang, we're getting old. Can't stop now. Yeah, I tell you what. There's still the black in through here, and it's actually up under there as well on that side. But most of it is turning white. A lot of white these days. But like I said, I don't care. Ed the phrase you're looking for has been there, done that. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. You know what? It's funny. I can honestly say I've had a very interesting life, a very colorful life. I made a tremendous, tremendous amount of mistakes. I'm going to be honest about that. A ton of mistakes. And as you get older and maturity happens, it's better. What's up with the bees? I looked at them today. I didn't go down there, but I could, see they look good. My dad was a drill sergeant. Oh yeah, so you didn't get away with squat, did you, Dawn? You didn't get away with squat. So, but anyway, so what do we have? 320 in the chat or 207 on the thumbs up. So again, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. It means a lot. It really helps with the algorithms as well. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you're not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, so let's go back a little bit more on this. The nuclear power plant in Ukraine, they are saying, somebody in the comments made the statement, if it melts down, 6 times worse than Chernobyl. And we know what a disaster Chernobyl was. You still can't go there now. So you're talking about a very large area basically being uninhabitable, unable to grow any crops or anything for a very, very long time. And that's not, that's not good. That's not good at all. So, but my thumb was up, number 64. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And no matter how far away, we all pay the price. You're exactly right. Um, you know, you're exactly right. Uh, there is so many things going on with that situation, and they're still like debating who did it. Who does it hurt worse, right? So was it the Russians that did it? Was it Ukraine that did it? You know, just like and here I want you to I want to here's a question for you guys. Here's a question for you. The Nord Stream pipeline, right? Nord Stream pipeline. Have you heard anything more about that? And actually who did it or who they say did it, right? Have you heard anything more? Not that the fact that there was a U.S. ship in the area. Oh, I'm sure that had no bearing on it at all. I'm sure that was not any part of why it happened. So, at how far away from the power plant will you think it will affect? Well, it depends on how bad the meltdown is, Delbert. I know, like I said, what in New York with the power plant right there on Lake Ontario, that they had, I think, a 30-mile radius. Um, I think it was a 30-mile radius that they had the alarms, that if the alarms went off, you needed to leave. I think they said that Chernobyl has a 10,000-year no-use shelf life. Wow. Yeah, that's just crazy. And like I said, and people go there. I've seen the YouTube videos where they've snuck in, and then they actually had people patrolling and looking to see if people were around. So, fallout from Chernobyl hit Norway. Yep, yep. So, what do you think's going to happen if this one goes? And right now it's a pretty high chance that it may go. It's a really, really high chance that it may go. I just think that when it comes to nuclear power, I don't think that is the best option. I think there's much better options to go with. It's not always about how much money you can make. You know, the animals at Chernobyl are doing better than before the accident. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And it will set off super volcanoes? I don't think so. No, Chernobyl wouldn't set off super volcanoes. You'd have a lot of you'd have a lot of issues, pollutions, contaminants, all that type of stuff. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so let's talk about volcanoes a little bit, right? Another one just went off. I can't remember which one they said. I just saw it today. Another one just went off. That's a lot of stuff going into the upper atmosphere. A lot of stuff going to the upper atmosphere. And like I said, one of these big ones go, like the one in Italy that they're talking about that's really quite active right now. If that one pops off, depending on the severity of the volcano, just because it's a super volcano doesn't mean it's going to be, the huge volcano that, is going to destroy everything. You can have one of those super volcanoes go off with a weaker volcano, like Yellowstone, for an example. They've determined that Yellowstone has gone off 3 times, like 2.1 million years ago, 1.4 million years ago, and then over 600,000 years ago. So generally once every 600,000 years for Yellowstone. And 3 volcanoes in Italy are very active at the moment. Okay. So, all right, we are actually at that time. So let's actually, on time for once, because I just looked and I saw that it's there. Let's go ahead and do the egg count. So, how many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. So, I'll give you guys a moment and we will go from there. So, I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in. Now, I got to tell you guys a quick story before I give you the egg count. So, Dave, who's down here, always has the same exact guess every time. Okay, he goes on his Mac on the chat, same exact guess every time. Well, I think it was the last live stream that we did. Uh, the answer was 7 and yes. Okay, and Dave wasn't in the chat, and somebody else got the right answer first. And Dave is always the first one with his guess of 7 and yes. And I was like, oh, look at this. So Dave missed out because he wasn't here. He didn't get the right answer. So that was actually pretty funny. And I had mentioned that to him. I said, did you go back and watch that live stream? And he goes, no, why? And I said, oh, I talked about you in that. And so we're sharing that with him. So that being said, today, the correct guess, and I don't know if I should give it to Dave or not, because all at first he had was yes. And then later he went and 7. So I am actually going to give this. I can't give it to Dave because he didn't have both of them at the same time. So I am going to give the right guess to, where is it here? I believe it was, hold on a second. Dave Obram, I believe, had the right answer. Let me go back here and find it. No, Troy. I'm sorry, Troy O'Brien. Troy O'Brien gets the win with 7 eggs and yes. And the only reason that Mac or Dave missed out was because if you look up above his answer, all it said was and yes. And then later on, he put the 7. So, Dave, no go. You are not the winner. Troy O'Brien is the winner. So, congratulations to Troy. You've won absolutely nothing. You snooze, you lose, Mac. You got to be on it. You got to be on it. He's always got the same guess. So at some point, he's got to be right. He screwed up. So congratulations, Troy. You are the winner tonight. So I had to tell you guys that story along with that. So yes, and you've won absolutely nothing except for bragging rights. So Robert said Macs are always a little slow going uphill. That's true. So anyway, but hopefully this nuclear power plant in the Ukraine does not go off or melt down. I'm sorry, because if it does, it's going to affect a lot of things. There will be nuclear fallout and all that type of stuff as well from that. So not a good situation. You know what I mean? So Dave taken out by a typo. Well, it happens. It happens. Hold on, I got to look at something real quick, guys. All right. Very cool. So, anyway. Don Hill, I'm teaching my granddaughter about pressure points. Nothing wrong with that. I will tell you right now, I taught Heather some stuff early on. Asa says it will make Chernobyl look like a picnic. Yep, yep. Yes, Thick Neck did get mealworms, and she's been laying again. So, yep. So there's that. She's doing well. I thought she was done, and it just was she didn't get any mealworms, so she was on strike. So, but anyway, it's like I said, it's hey Rick Carey, long time watcher. Hope your fourth was great. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate the donation. And yeah, it was quiet. It was a quiet day. I didn't really do anything. Uh, I cut grass. Very exciting. So, but no, it was a low key night. Um, you know, so, but I appreciate that. Okay, Forge, Ed, have you sent the books out yet? If I had sent the books out yet, I would tell you that I sent the books out. So there's your answer. When I can, they will be sent out. Okay, so so now you all can stop asking. I'm not trying to be a jerk. Just when I can, they will be sent out. Yeah, Thick Neck says no mealworms, no eggs. So yeah, the hornet's nest is gone. It is. It is. They are kaput. So yeah, and that was like in a month. You know. No, you're fine, Okie Forge. That's fine. No worries. So yeah, I honestly, Dawn, I am shocked that I didn't get stung because of the hornet's nest. I mean, I literally was right underneath, and I'm jumped on the four wheeler, fired it up, and drove it around, parked it, got off, cut the grass in that area, got back on the four wheeler, and drove it right back to the same spot. So I was foot still hurting. Foot is still hurting. So I was actually lifting. So I was lifting the lawnmower um, yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday because we had to put the tire back on. So I think I lifted that stupid lawnmower like 8 times so that we could get the blocks underneath it. And no, I'm not allergic. No, no. Been stung plenty of times. Plenty of times. Don't like it so much, but yeah. So I think I aggravated my foot, to be honest with you, with lifting um, the lawnmower because we had to lift it up and then we put it down, then lift it up again, and then put it down, and then they had to adjust something. So then, well, why don't we try this? So I mean, I literally lifted that lawnmower up like 8 times, but got the wheel done, got the wheel taken care of, and so that was awesome. Um, and Bob and Dave were working on that, and so that was appreciated. It was not only 2 times. You're full of crap. You know darn well it was more than 2 times. It was at least 8 times. But so anyway, so we got that done, and like I said, then I cut some more grass yesterday, and then I finished up today. So I got that, except for around the four wheeler, the other four wheeler. So I just got to move the other four wheeler so I can hit that spot. And I will, just to shut people up, because it's driving me nuts when people say, you're going to cut in that spot, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I'll get it. I'll get it. There's a few things going on. So the worst part is you had gas. I did not. Nice. Nice, Mac. Is that how you're teaching your grandson to talk with that potty mouth? That's not appropriate behavior. No, you guys are fine. You guys are fine. Uh, so anyway, but no, we like I said, there's always something. There's always something going on. I had hoped, that because I had cut grass on Monday, and I was like, okay, well, I'll do a big chunk of it because then it was raining. I had the issues with that, and then I'm like, I'm just going to cut grass, Tuesday. So I had gotten started, and I was banging along, and then that wheel came off, and that kind of just derailed everything. So, the weird part of summer is I haven't seen bees or mosquitoes here in DuPage City. Wow, really? That's crazy. We've had plenty here. Oh, bees, I have my own bees, but there's also a lot of the other bees around as well. Uranium 235 has a half life of 700 million years. I don't know if it's that long. I don't think it's that long. Oh, maybe that type of uranium? Maybe. I don't know. Is that the uranium that they're using? I mean, I know it lasts a long time. I know it lasts a long, long time. So, a lot longer, than the amount of power that it helped create. And it's to me, that's just not worth it. But it's weird when you have a place. There's always another project, something else that has to be done. And the grass cutting itself is I enjoy it, so it's not like to me it doesn't feel like a chore, if you know what I mean. I just like to try to get it done over a 2 day period, so all the grass is pretty much the same. So, uh, oh, I gotcha. Okay, that's crazy. Yeah, homesteads are never ending work. That is for sure. That is for sure. But you know what? I can't complain because I don't. Like I said, I don't look at it. I consider it like a labor of love, if you will, just because I do enjoy it. It's good to see things getting squared away, and when you finish a project and you get that project done, and then you can go on to the next thing. That part of it's really enjoyable. You know, I mean, the progress that we've made with the pavilion is it's been really really cool, and so it's coming along. Oh, what about throwing rock? Yeah, I've tossed plenty of rock. I've moved a lot of rock. Yeah, we had there actually in our group chat today. Um, Mark had sent a thing in, and it had all these different things. Like these. If you could have this, superpower, what would you do? Which ones would you have? And one of the superpowers was a never-ending supply of rock. And I'm like, yeah, I definitely would take that one. Any plans to expand the solar system? Down the road, Troy, yes. Down the road, absolutely. Summertime, it's actually fine. I have no issues with the amount of power that I'm bringing in with the solar in the summer. It would be wintertime. That would be, where I need more panels. Not batteries. I'm good. I'm good with the batteries that I have. I just would need more panels. Um, you know, to bring in enough power in the wintertime. So, but oh, I know what I was going to tell you guys. I was thinking, I was talking about different things. There was a hailstorm that and they were talking about solar power. And there was a hailstorm, freak hailstorm came in and destroyed like a whole huge area of solar panels, like 1.5. I don't know. It was gigawatts or some huge exorbitant number. It destroyed like all the panels. Okay. What I don't think people understand is, when you go and you buy, you can get the solar panels super, super cheap, right? And they'll say, oh, it's so much for, well, those solar panels in those arrays, they use them for like a 3 year period and then they swap them out because, every year you're losing a little bit, a small amount of efficiency over the life of the solar panel. So those places will swap them out like every 3 years, and then what happens is they sell them super cheap, and that's why you're able to get them at the cost that you can get them at. So, but me personally, I decided to. Hey, Patricia, good to see you. Um, I went with brand new solar panels. I don't want to buy the cheap used panels. That's just my own personal thing. Everybody has the right to do whatever way they want to do it. But for me, I just if I'm going to do it, I just wanted to do it like the one time. Like when I got here, I made a ton of mistakes with my solar up in New York, and you learn. So once you learn, then you figured, okay, this doesn't work and this does work. So what can I do? And so that's kind of where we're at with that one. So like I said, down the road, I will expand the solar panels. I may end up adding more batteries down the road as well, just for better storage of power. So when we have super, super sunny days, that I could have, down the road, 3, maybe 4 batteries, the big ones. And I'm never going to worry about power after that. You know what I mean? So, but all right, let us go ahead and we're going to do some shout outs. What do we still wait? 299 in the chat. We're 253 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to do that, please, to show support for the channel. Again, I do really appreciate it. It makes a big, big difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So what are it? 257 now. Should we be ridiculous and set a goal for 300 with only like 18 minutes to go? Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can hit 300 thumbs up before we jump off. So that's the goal, guys. So let's see if we can do that just for the fun of it, and let's see how close we can get. All right, so shout outs. I'm going to start out with Icky Can up in Canada. Real good guy. I would ask you to please support him. Show him some love up there. You have Angry Prepper, and that's Jason down in New York City. Another really good guy. You have Alaska Prepper, and that's Rudy. There is also Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. 2 different channels, same guy. Great content, master builder, into gardening, the whole 9 yards, and he shows you everything. You have Demcad. He has been on for quite a while. I like his stuff as well. You have Corporal's Corner. There is Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. There is Marfugal News. That's Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Definitely good guys as well. We have Magic Prepper. He's out in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar. That's Cody. Really good channel. A lot of good information with his channel as well. Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily over in Europe. You have Kyle's Cabin up in Minnesota with Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up there, showing you how to live off grid. There is Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team. Really good people, very down to earth. Definitely check them out as well. You have Green Greg's, another good channel. Green Greg's has got a lot of good information, a lot of gardening information on his channel. There's Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. So really, really good channel as well. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy. They've been around a long time. Great channel. A lot of good information on their channel. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there doing their thing down there. Like to watch them as well. The Green Dream Project, which is out in Arizona. Another young couple showing you how to live in the desert, what it takes. So they're fun to watch as well. You have Camping with Steve Wallace. Does stealth camping. A lot of fun to watch him. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Good channel. A lot of good information on her. I got something in my eye, so that's why I keep going back to my eye. So I think it's a hair. So I do apologize for that. Boss of the Swamp. He's been around a long time. Another great builder. Really fun to watch him. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a very smart guy. all the information about the Grand Solar Minimum. He has that. Definitely check him out as well. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Like her channel as well. Says it straight shooter, says it like it is, so that's pretty cool. You have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer. Excuse me. Bear Independent. The Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma, so definitely check him out as well. There is Mary Greeley News. She gives you all the latest updates with Yellowstone, the earthquake, what's going on there. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy to get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall is very passionate about the weather. He gives back to the community in a big way as well. There is Russell Brand. Russell Brand gives you the information. I like his channel. He lets you decide what you want to do with it. So I think that that's also a cool thing. Deep South Homestead. They've been around a long time. Really laid back, good channel as well. The Outsider. The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. You have Townsend's. A lot of good information with Townsend's, showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. So that's another good thing. There is the Prepared Mind. You have Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. East Tennessee Preparedness. The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels out there. So I definitely recommend that. Okay, and I think being a small community, we should support each other. So we're up to 280. So we need 20 more thumbs up, guys, to hit that 300 mark. Doing pretty good actually. So let's see how close we can. We got it. You guys are going to blow away 300. I almost guarantee it. I hope anyway. So 20 more thumbs up, guys. Let's keep them coming. Just see if we can hit our goal. So anyway, like again, I do believe we should be supporting each other. That's a good thing, and we'll go from there. So a lot of channels. I know a lot of you also put channels in the chat, so that's a good thing as well. Like I said again, there's a lot of good information out there. So 284. We need 16 more. 16 more to hit our goal of 300 thumbs up. So take a hit of this. But as far as, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, which means absolutely nothing, of course, I feel that nuclear power plants are a disaster waiting to happen. There has been many, many problems with nuclear power plants. And so, not a good thing. It continues to happen. It's going to continue to happen. And we're just waiting for the next disaster to hit. And I think that there's other alternatives that we can do. Heading out in the morning to my off-grid site for the next 13 days. Very cool. Very, very cool. So we're at 295. We need 5. Well, now 296. 4 more thumbs up, guys. 4 more. But yeah, like I said, it's, I don't believe nuclear power should ever have been a choice in the first place. I think that there's a lot of other much, much safer options. Just think about all the waterways we have all over the place. All over the place. We got a ton of waterways everywhere. Why are we not utilizing those more for hydro? I mean, that's not causing cancer. If they break down, nobody has to run away a million miles. I mean, obviously, if the dam breaks, then there's an issue. But, 301, so we hit our goal. Very cool. So, like I said, I believe that there is, it's always been about power and leverage. Oh, well, that's the problem. Yeah. Yep. Whose palms are getting greased to make something happen? But when I just saw a thing recently, and they were saying, talking about, nuclear, we need to do more nuclear power plants. And I'm like, why? So, Why did they drain Lake Powell and Lake Mead? When did they do that, Okie Ford? You mean recently? They just got filled up again. I don't think they would have drained them. But, I mean, going back to Fukushima again, it's 12 years later and they still haven't fixed that problem there. Why not? Right? Why not? That doesn't make any sense to me. What are you going to just wait and let it go and go and go? It's total insanity. Oh, they were really low for a while. The reason they were low, Okie Forge, was because they didn't have enough rain and they were using that water. I mean, you're talking about areas where there's not water naturally, uh, you know, normally, I should say. Then they had those big rains that came through and they refilled them up pretty quickly, which was a good thing, which was a real good thing. So I know that some of the reservoirs in California, they lowered them down. I did see that. And again, they had this drought for so long. Why were they not working on more storage in case it refilled, which it did? But now what do? They dump the water, the excess water out again because they know that, with the spring runoff, they had probably a ton of more water coming in from that. So when the mountains were melting because they had so much snow and rain and stuff like that. So it's just, I don't know. Like I said, the thinking, in my opinion, a lot of times is skewed. I don't know what they're thinking. They need to be better at managing what they're doing. That, you know what I mean? Instead of, oh, we've been in a drought, nobody used any water, and then all of a sudden these huge storms come in, fill everything up, and instead of utilizing that water, oh, it's too much, we got to let it out. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then if we end up having another period of time where they're not getting enough water, they'll be, they're getting paid not to think. It seems like it at times. Um, then you'll have another drought, and then they'll be crying again. So it's crazy. And they pump water from me to Lake Las Vegas for the rich people to ski. Well, that's always nice. Well, you got to take care of the rich, right? Isn't that part of the rules? All right, guys, let's do this. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We got Robert in Northern Virginia, Montreal, Quebec, Canada with Daniel, Omaha, Nebraska, Waterloo, New York, Inverness, Florida with Clyde, Franklin County, Ohio, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. We got Florida's in the house, Tucson, Arizona with Angela, BC, Canada with Janet, Awesome Sauce up in Connecticut, the UP of Michigan with Dawn, Bubba One in Michigan, Leesburg, Florida, Western New York, Rye, New York, uh, Emil from BC, Canada, South Carolina with Pat, Eastern Washington, Trenton, Gainesville, Florida. We got Phillies in the house, Central Iowa with Robert, Edgewater, Florida with Judy, Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster, Western Mass with Kristen, North Dakota with Anthony, California in the house with Gary, North Fargo, North Dakota with Dorian, Charlotte County, Florida with Gloria, Fort Collins, Colorado with Lisa, Kearney, Nebraska with DJ, Flagler Beach, Florida, uh, Jasper, Tennessee, Palaco, Idaho with Janita, West Central Ohio with Dale. So, not seeing any more popping up, so I guess that's going to be it for tonight. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of us out here. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge network of people. If we could ever come together, work together, there would be no stopping us. We would be a force to be reckoned with, especially being prepared, and most people are not. That's a scary thing if you have a group of people that are really super prepared and ready to go because they don't need the government. They don't want the government, right? I mean, that's real. That's the reality. I'm going to continue to encourage all of you to not be victims. Be proactive. Think for yourselves. Plan ahead. Be ready for whatever may come, because something will happen one way or another. Something will happen, I should say. And when that does, I don't want to be standing in line with 2,000 of my closest friends waiting for that bowl of soup. I want to be able to have my own stuff, take care of myself and the people that I care about, and that's it. So, can the U.S. just learn to have peace times and quit getting involved in every conflict that has nothing to do with us? That would be a good start. That would be an excellent start, and I don't disagree with you at all. So, yep, plan ahead. Plan ahead. Be proactive. That's important. So, anyway, guys, I do want to thank my moderators. They do a fantastic job keeping the chat clean. It's very much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me. So thank you very much ahead of time for that. It's very, like I said again, very appreciated, and thank you. Uh, Also, I want to thank all you guys for being here and you know supporting the channel. Only one troll tonight. Well, they must not have had a chance to make new accounts yet, JJ. I got an email today though, so that was nice. I love the emails. So keep them coming. And all of the trolls that are watching, thank you for your support as well. You're helping me with the channel, so I do appreciate that. And very, very funny. But I don't get it, never will. But to each their own, and have at it. So uh, I, I'll give you an example. I have my favorite troll who likes to call me an insufferable douchebag. Okay, and so he sends me emails periodically telling me these things, and I have to laugh because I said, if I am so insufferable, why are you watching? Is that the definition of stupidity or what? You hate me so much, but you're here watching every stream and every video that I do. So thank you. I appreciate that in your stupidity to watch somebody that you hate. I don't get it, but that's okay. It takes all kinds. So anyway, guys, uh, remember we are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us using race, religion, political affiliation, all tools used to keep us fighting amongst each other. And that's the problem. That is a huge problem. So, uh, we have to stop. We have to come together as human beings. And if we ever did that, there would be no stopping us. No stopping us. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that can stop you from achieving your goals is you. If you set realistic goals, okay? If you set realistic goals, there's going to be nobody to stop you. You can do whatever you want to do. So stay positive, stay away from that negativity, stay away from negative people telling you what you cannot do. Excuse me. And you're going to be fine. All right? I hope everybody has a great night. Please be safe. I will see you guys all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.